Oh,
welcome everybody. Sorry to make you wait. I'm so sorry. I apologize. Okay. So I'm not going to make you wait any longer. We'll get started. You don't want to. I don't want to waste your time with my nonsense. So let's.
Shalom, Rabbi.
Hi. Okay, here we go. Okay, so we're starting the new thing. The new Siman, right? Which is Siman Gimel. Yasha, Gagi Marjos. Oh, that's any this, yes, any Arian. Come on, Yasha, come on. Of course, Yasha. Also, you got clothes also, Yasha. Laila Tov. Okay.
I like him. He's a good dude. Very simple.
When he's sleeping, he's a good guy.
That's right. That's what they say. That's what they say.
He sleeps well. Ah, there you are. Okay. I thought you had enough today already. What happened? What, you want more now? More punishment? What happened? Okay. All right, if you insist, I'll give you. What can I do? Okay, here we go. So we're going to Siman Gimel. We finished Siman Bet yesterday. So we're going to Gimel. Am I right?
Yes.
Okay, good. I got something right. So far, I'm batting 1 for 1. Let's see how it goes tonight. We'll see how it goes. Okay. Let's see how it goes. So we have the tour, Siman Gimel. It's beginning, all beginnings are difficult. That's what they say, right, people? All beginnings are difficult. Okay, here we go. So it says like this, right? Got it, guys? Everybody got it? Okay. All right. The Zoom people, they got it because it sounds right on the screen. They're just watching it. So here we go, right? Right? It says when you go into the bathroom, Yomar, התכבדו מכובדים קדושים משרתי עליון שמרוני שמרוני עזרוני עזרוני המתינו לי, right? עד שאכנס ויצא. So in the old days, this was the ritual that they used to do before going to the bathroom, right? Today nobody does this, right? Okay, even the big guys don't do it. So what would they say when they went in? Right? They would say התכבדו מכובדים קדושים. So what does that mean? What you're saying is, right, the malachim that are with you, accompanying you until the bathroom, like you're telling them, just like wait outside if you don't mind, like don't come in with me over there. That's not for you, that place. Let me go in alone, like stay there. It's more honorable for you. It kabadu, right? Kabud is honor, right? So then it says mesharte elyon, right? You're the servants of God, right? Shimruni, shimruni. So what does that mean? Guard me, like guard me from harm when I go into the bathroom. Something shouldn't happen over there, some plumbing problems, all kinds of things, right? Azuni, azuni. So azuni, azuni, what does that mean? Help me, help. You ever hear somebody from the bathroom letting out, help, help,
Yeah.
Hamtinuli. So then it says, right, wait for me. Oh, until I go in and come out. So it explains, right, the tour. Why did they do this? What was the reason why they did this? Because this is the way of the people. Right? I'm sorry. Oh, that's it. Okay, good. Okay, so where was the last word? Okay, I got it. All right. Okay, very good. So we'll see the Bet Yosef on that. Okay, so again, right, the idea is, that you're telling the angels, like help me out, wait outside, do me a favor, blah blah blah.
Meaning what, like
Protect me, protect me, from harm. So what does that mean? There's mazikin in there, in the bathroom.
Now or
today,
right.
we don't have mazikin, we don't have nothing in there.
Right.
We barely.
Right. Okay.
All we got is a lot of shampoo and conditioner. That's all we have in there. There's nothing else.
The name mazikin, on the shampoo.
I'm sorry. What were you saying?
No, I think that will say that.
Okay, conditioner shampoo?
No, I'm saying how this is Nevada.
Okay. Oh, there you go. Okay. All right.
Shoot.
I was mitkaven to the Bet Yosef, you're saying, right?
Right.
Okay, that's good. I don't mind. Okay. Let me just bring it up.
Rabbi?
Yes, ma'am.
Very short.
Okay, I'm sorry. Could you please explain how, and I know you kind of did, but explain it in a little bit more depth on how it is the different that in the old times they would do the ritual before going into the bathroom, and now we don't have to do that. What
Right.
makes
We're
such a
gonna
big
get into that in
difference?
like a couple of minutes. So just hold on to your seat, and we're
Okay.
almost there.
Okay,
Okay. Okay. But if I forget to talk about it, just remind me, so I shouldn't forget altogether.
don't worry, I
Okay,
will.
you'll be there for me. Okay, very good.
Absolutely.
Okay, God bless. Very good. Okay. So let me just get there here.
You got to open a different book, probably, right?
When you start the Siman, you got to open up everything. The new Siman, the new chapter. You got to open sesame, everything. Okay, here we go. So it says like this, right? But Maran Bet Yosef. Right? So then that's the headline that comes from the tour, right? So then it starts like this, Bet Yosef. That's the way it is in Masechet Brachot, right? So that's where it comes from, right? The source for this, this Amirah, the saying that we do. Rashi explains over there. He's telling the angels, right, that accompany him this statement, right? Declaration. A declaration he's saying. Okay. As it says, right? Right. So what does that mean? There's a pasuk, right, in Tehillim. It says that he commands his angels upon you. So what does that mean? To protect you. Hashem commands them to protect you. That's why they're there. I mean, they say, right? Every person has two ministering angels, accompanying him everywhere he goes, right? More or less, right? We'll see, by the way, we'll talk about that. But one, the good guy and the bad guy, right? The good cop, the bad cop. That's the way it is, right? Okay. So it says, right? Katava Rabban David Abu Drehem. Says this rabbi, he was one of the Rishonim, by the way. David Abu Drehem. Sephardi guy.
Abu Dayan.
Abu Drehem.
Abu Dayan.
Abu Drehem. B'Shem Chidushed Dabash, right? She'en lomar ze ela yireh shamayim. Oh, so says Rav David Abu Drehem, who should say this? Only like a very God-fearing person, because otherwise, like you sounds like like you're a gava, like I have angels going with me everywhere, like Mr. Holy, like what do you think you are, like chill out, So B'Shem Chidushed the Bet Shammai, look at that, right? So it says, right. So it says Shashkina Shora Alav. So what does that mean? Yireh Shamayim Hasid. Hasid. When you say Hasid, right, who comes to your mind? Baba Sali, right? Whatever. People are Hasid.
I was thinking about the guys in Williamsburg.
That's the thing, the real Hasidim you should know are people like Baba Sali. Those are the real Hasidim. Not those, guys, those cheesy guys. Okay, so anyway, right? Shechasid Shashkina Shora Alav. That means the Shekhinah is upon him, like Baba Sali, right? Who had more Shekhinah than him? Aval Inish Acharina, but other people, no, don't do that stuff. Mishum de mixek yuhara, you're being like conceited, right? That's what it is. It's conceit, like you got your nose, you don't want to show that.
Right.
You got it, yeah, of course. Gaiva is Ashkenazim say, right?
You've been hanging around
Ashkenaz. ונראה שמפני זה נתבטל מלומרו כלל בדורות הללו. So therefore he says, what? In these generations, just cut it out. Don't say this anymore. Leave it out.
Yeah.
Leave it out of your lexicon.
I'm sorry. He's saying the reason why we leave it out is because otherwise you sound like a conceited person.
Right. Sounds like, oh, you think you're holy.
Like
oh, wow.
Hang out, wait for
like
me.
Those guys who put tefillin, come into the shul, nobody else is wearing besides them, tefillin. Look at me, like, oh, yeah, Mr. Holy, those guys. Same thing, that's the whole thing, right? People like that. Okay. So you guys looking at me like I'm from Mars, but
what if you go to a shul where they do that? Where everybody does that.
Then it's okay. Then it's all right. But just to give you a little fill in on that, right? To fill you in on the situation, like people like Rabbi Safi, who puts two. I mean, Mekubal is Mekubal.
Yeah.
So, but when he used to come to our yeshiva, Yechavedat, he would take it off, because he didn't want, like to be, like Mr. Holy, didn't want to look like that over there, so he took it off. So he was only wearing one at a time, just like everybody else was doing over there. So that's the rule, By the way, this is also written, in the Ben Ish Chai. There's Sefer Od Yosef Chai, I think it's over there.
Right.
He says over there, the Ben Ish Chai is something incredible. He says that who and Rabbi Ovadia Somech, were the Gedolei Ador in Iraq at that time. Nobody was like that.
Right.
So they say, right, that what they used to do is at Mincha time, they used to put Shimush Rabbah, tefillin.
Right.
But since everybody else didn't do it, what they would do is they would go up to the Ezrat Nashim, they lock the door there and put it on over there, so nobody should see them. So even then they were concerned about this kind of thing. You understand? That's what I'm trying to tell you.
In that case, you can do it if you pray solo.
No problem, right? If you pray solo, you can do what you want.
Okay.
But right, there's another issue, which is Maran, gave us a whole lecture about this one time.
Right.
That what he says, I don't want people putting two tefillin at the same time. He doesn't like that. He didn't like it. So what was the reason why? He gave several reasons why he didn't like that. Number one, he said, when they make it so small, the parchments are too small and they get cracked, because they're too thin. It's like a thin pizza crust, gets cracked, that's what he meant. That's number one. Number two, right, fragile, exactly. It doesn't last long. Number two, he said there's another issue, which is that the Sofrim in our generation don't know how to write so small like that. So it comes out like really, shabby writing, They can't write nice, good, calligraphy, nice, good,
Right.
Fat letters, big fat letters. Ashurit, right? We know Ashurit. You have to write Ashurit. Those are fat letters, So you
Right.
got to write them fat. So you can't do that when you're writing these tiny microscopic letters, You can barely see it. Looks like a mosquito,
Right.
And well, it's like what, what I mean? This is also another reason why Maran didn't like that. Also, he had a different problem also with that. He said that the problem is that, it says in Masechet Eruvin, there's a Gemara. It says over there in Masechet Eruvin that there's a place on the head and also on the arm for two tefillin. There is place for two.
There's room.
It says, right, there is two.
Oh.
But here's the thing, right? Condition is it has to be very small, because the place is limited. There's a limited space there.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
4 centimeters at max, right?
Oh, yes, something like that. Yeah, exactly, right? So, right. In other words, each one,
Or
four,
small,
right?
or
I thought you
small.
were saying both. I'm sorry. I got
Ah,
right. Each one, yes, 100%, 100%. So the thing is like this, right? That Maran said that problem is today the tefillin are a little bit too big sometimes. So one of them is going to be off the mark, in the wrong place. So this is also another reason why I didn't like it. And also there was the reason that what do you call it? Sometimes they slip, like in other words, when you put two, one slips down to your forehead, not kosher, right? So in other words, he had like a slew of problems that comes up with this. So therefore, his psak was that we should not do in this generation, this thing. I mean, right, exactly, one at a time. And he was pretty adamant about this. There's all kinds of stories I don't want to get into it now, but about this whole thing. But the rabbi, that's the way. That's the way today most people do it. Whether it's Ashkenazim or Sfaradim. Which Ashkenazim put Rabbeinu Tam today? Only the Hasidim they put. The Lithuanians don't touch it. They're not into it. Okay, very good. So anyway, right, getting back to what we said. So here the same thing, right? This Gava, Yuhara, you don't want to be like this, By the way, this is a general rule in all halacha. Don't be different than everybody else, showing off, showing people, how holy you are and how this you are. It's Yuhara. So Yuhara, by the way, it says in Gemara, Baba Kama, that a person who has Yuhara, Chayav ben Nidui, excommunication. Can you imagine? Right, that's talking about a little bit different. That's a little bit different there. It's talking about like prayers, and things like this, like in other words, don't pray different than any other people. You're right, it's similar to that, but here it's a little bit different. This is more like a specific thing. It's called Yuhara, the prohibition of Yuhara, which is actually a real prohibition. So that
What
also,
exactly?
right? And that's exactly what we're talking about here.
What is yuhara?
What is it? The word here is right here, right? Yuhara. Mixik Yuhara. That's what it says. Right? Yuhara means the conceit.
I see.
You know what I mean? Conceited.
So you think
A
you're on top of
person,
the world,
hot
right?
shot,
You're better than
Mr.
everybody.
Cool, Mr. Hotshot, yeah, I'm the holiest guy in the world, look at me, Also, these guys, there's like also like a fad like this in Israel,
Mhm.
They wear white on Shabbat, like a white suit,
Right.
white shoes, everything white. Looks like he's going to a bowling alley, this guy, so whatever. So, but the rabbi said it's
That's
asur
also
to do
yuhara?
that.
It's yuhara?
I'm sorry, yeah, he also said it's asur.
Because you're separating from the
Because everybody
masses.
wears black and blue, and you're wearing white, like, what are you doing? What's the, whole discussion about
I
it.
understand.
Same thing over here. That's what we're talking about here. Okay, so very good. So we're gonna do Shulchan Aruch. Let's go to Shulchan Aruch. Absolutely, you're so right. You know, but
But I
what the
know the
minhag is not
generation-
like that.
the
You know what I mean?
generation
So
we're-
we're not concerned about it.
The generation doesn't apply, right?
You know what it is? It doesn't apply when the custom is different. You know, it
Customer's
doesn't
different
apply
now.
because you're doing it different than everybody else. That's the
Yeah.
thing. You know, that's when it doesn't apply. Right? Do like everybody else. You know, that's the
We're
thing. You know.
black, That's fine.
You know. That's the thing. You know, be like everybody else. Be normal.
Don't come in a
You
swimsuit.
know,
bro.
yeah. Be a normal person. That's all. You know, that's all you need.
You win so
Okay.
much more being normal like that, you know? Like,
Absolutely.
there's no time for, you know, I'll tell you something
Yeah.
funny. It's unrelated, but like Steve Jobs, right? He
Yeah.
wore the same outfit for like 30 years. He's like, it takes so much mental energy to try to dress
I
up
wish I knew who he
differently.
was, but I don't know who he is. This
The guy who made Apple.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's
Okay.
fine. You
All right.
shouldn't be
Sounds good to
sorry.
me.
I mean, the guy died. Like,
All right.
I want to point somewhere
Okay,
else.
whatever.
Yeah.
So anyway, right, as we said, so let's go to Shulchan Aruch, Aleph. So what does it say there? Right, it says, oh God, oh my God, I went to the wrong place. Just give me a second. Oh, maybe. I went to Simon Aleph mistakenly. Okay, so it says like this, right? You got it, guys, where this is? On the other side? Right, it says, when he goes into the bathroom, Yomar, it should say, Hitkabdu mechubadim, all this thing, right? Those declarations that we said. Ve'achshav lo nahagu le'omro. Now the minhag is not to say. Okay, very good. So stay away from it, right? That's the idea.
Such a simple explanation.
Very simple.
Facts.
yeah. Okay, very good. So now we're going to.
Because of you,
Right.
but the thing is, going to the bathroom, the person is not going to the bathroom with a minion, he's by himself.
Right. You're not proclaiming it. Stay outside. I'm
sorry, what was that again?
He's right.
Like,
I didn't get the question.
like you're not going with other people.
You're not going
for,
with the
like,
minyan.
For to say that, oh, I'm not separating myself from them, it's a problem. It's a person.
You're alone.
Oh my
I'm
God.
not gonna tell you. I proclaim now. I'm going to the bathroom. You know, angels wait.
You guys
Rabbi
are
wait.
making me
Everybody
laugh.
wait.
You guys are making me
Think
laugh.
about it.
But you know what it is? I'll tell you something.
Yeah. You know he's right.
What do you say? I'm
He's
sorry.
like it's in your eyes. I guess
It's in your eyes.
I guess the same concept. Don't be naked when your solo applies. You know?
Okay, but I'll tell you something. Okay,
You know, that's
you
what
guys,
you're trying
I was, in my lifetime, I was in Kollel for like 20 years. Like
Yeah,
in Yeshiva
yeah.
Kollel, 25 years. 30 years. So I was always like in public life.
yeah.
So you should know when you're in a place like that, everybody's watching you what you're doing. Like when you're going into the bathroom, they're coming out. They're gonna see you. What's this guy doing over there? He looks weird, man. That guy looks weird.
100%.
He looks like psychedelic, what's going on with this guy? He's on drugs, maybe. I don't know, just doing some drugs, LSD, whatever. That's what it looks like. So you can't hide that, you know what I mean? When even in your family, right? They see what you do, you know what I mean? Your children watch you. By the way, your children, they learn from not what you tell them, they learn from what you do. They learn by example, So watch out what you do in front of kids, because they will pick it up. They'll emulate you. You know what I mean? If they see us.
Sitting on the phone all
Be
day.
careful what you do. You know what I mean? That's the way it is today. The chinuch today, training children, is by example. So watch out what you do.
That was the case?
I'm sorry?
Is that always the case? Is that always the case?
No, today it's even more, because they don't want to hear you're preaching to them, Stop preaching, Dad. Stop preaching to me. Like they don't want to hear that stuff, Like they think you're a nerd, some kind of old timer, Get off my back, but they watch what you do, Oh, I see. Oh, that's what they're watching. They don't want to hear the preaching,
It's so true.
By the way, there's an expression for this in Hebrew, It's called metif musar, like you're dripping musar on me, Like stop dripping your musar on me. That's what they say.
It's like a hip term. Right?
Preaching
dripping.
means preaching,
I see.
Stop preaching. Okay, so that's the way it is, right? So good. Let's go to next one. Okay, so we're going to tour, right? Tour. Yes.
We're gonna have to go back and get it together.
Bet and Gimel together. Okay, very good. Sounds good to me. Okay, so it says right. So it says like this. Shekem Darkan, right? That what this says?
No,
They had to know.
Ooh. Oh, got it. Okay. Ve'et tzanua bebet hakiseh. So it says bit tzanua bebet hakiseh. Right. This is a very interesting halakha, by the way. You know, that bit tzanua, be modest in the bathroom. Ve'lo yigale atzmo. We talked about this, right? To reveal yourself in the bedroom, right? Now we're talking about the bathroom. Similar, concept here. Ve'lo yigale atzmo. You asked me about the bathroom, right? You were the one who asked me. There you go, right? That's where we got to. Ve'lo yigale atzmo ad sheyeshev mishamesh. Look what it says. Incredible, right? Don't reveal your body until you sit on the seat, because otherwise you're showing your genitals. Again, right? We're coming to the same problem. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. What was I saying?
No, it says Vayim Shemesh is not the next Simon.
Ooh, I'm sorry. What was that again?
The word Vayim Shemesh.
Oh, that's right. That's the end of it. Okay, got it. Okay, beautiful. Okay, good. So, right, the thing is, again, right here, be tzanu in the bathroom also, just like you are in the bedroom. Hopefully you are tzanu in the bedroom, right? If you are tzanu in the bedroom, be also tzanu in the bathroom. That's the way it works. Okay, beautiful. So then we're going to Bet Yosef, right?
Yes.
From there. Okay, good.
Yeah.
So we're reading the tour?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Where does the tour start?
Vayim Shemesh.
Right. V'imashmesh, right? V'imashmesh. So it says, what does that mean? V'imashmesh v'ya tabat. That means that they're like feeling out, their anal issue there. You know what's going on there. You understand? Right? So I'm sorry. Okay. Okay. So why is he telling you to do this, by the way? Because this seems to stimulate, the bowel movement. Understand? By feeling it up there,
Oh, right.
I think that's the reason why.
Right.
We're gonna see the Bet Yosef.
It was a custom back in
That's
day.
the
We
way I
don't do that
remember, right? We
anymore.
don't do it anymore. We don't do it. Yeah.
I think
I'm sorry.
I didn't get.
Yeah.
It's like, he puts his finger, plays around with it, until something comes out. That's the idea. Oh, by the way, they do this with the children.
Yeah,
You know,
they stimulate.
That's what the mothers do,
Blood flow.
when the child is constipated,
Right.
they put their finger in there, it brings it out.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
So treat yourself like a little infant, basically. That's what we're saying, right? Be an infant. Okay. We don't do it anymore today. Okay, God bless you, right? Today we don't do
Well,
it.
keep in mind they used to use the bathroom differently back in the day too.
Yeah, there was a different. It was a different
Different system.
ritual altogether, right? The whole thing was different. There's no question about that. Today, we're much more soft and and we're more sterile. We're sterile people today. Well sterilized. Okay, so right as we said,
I mean, the toilet itself was built a certain way to help you relieve yourself.
yes. Okay,
So.
so let's go to the Bet Yosef, right?
Yeah.
All right, very good. So it says Maran Bet Yosef, like this. Got it, guys? Got it? Okay, it says Pashut, right? It says Pashut. Pashut. For you, it's Pashut. For us, it's not Pashut, right? Because today, in our generation, we're all messed up,
Yeah.
So
Wait, are we
nothing is
about
Pashut for us.
No. One thing.
All right.
Yeah.
Pashutu.
Right,
Pashut.
right.
Yeah, Pashut. Okay. Right. So it says, "Velo yigale atzmo ad sheyeshev." Don't reveal yourself until you sat down. So it says, "Gam ze sham." Right. It's also there. En nifrain omed ela meyoshev. So here, right, it's very interesting that it seems like the reason why you shouldn't reveal yourself like that, according to this statement that he's saying, is because here's the thing, right? It's something incredible. Like today, we don't even dream about things like this. But in those days, the thing was, you guys are gonna laugh, I don't know, cry or whatever, I don't know. But I don't know what you're gonna do.
Maybe both.
But you know what it was in those days? They used to do witchcraft. Okay,
Yeah.
so the witchcraft was going on when the person went to the bathroom. That's when they would get him. Like put the spell on him.
Oh wow.
You understand? So this is exactly what you're trying to avoid over here.
By exposing
By not exposing yourself, right, in an improper way.
Like
So what does that mean? They can get you when you're standing in the witchcraft. When you're sitting, they can't get you. So therefore, make sure you sit down first, so you don't get witched up. Some spelled out. You don't get
You
spelled.
mentioned that there used to be a different type of spirit in that area too, right? Like
Uh-huh.
an evil spirit of some sort.
Right. So, it seems like
By way
as
of
we
that,
said,
yeah.
right, that we said that the generals is a dirty area, spiritually, right?
generally.
So therefore, that's where the witchcraft can take effect.
Yeah, it can latch
You
on.
understand? Yeah, that's
I
on.
see. While you're standing.
Yeah.
If you're
I'm
sitting,
sorry?
it doesn't affect.
Right, that's the thing. That's what it says over here. That's what it says. Yeah. Okay, so this is the reason why they told you to do it this way. So then it says v'mashmesh b'pi tabat, right? As we said, feel it up, with your finger, like get it out, and then sit down. Gam ze sham meshamesh v'shev ve'al teshev mishamesh. So don't do it the other way around, right? first feel it and then sit,
Mhm.
but not sit and then feel it. Don't do it that way. Why? What's the reason why? Oh my God. So if you do it that way, the witchcraft can get you, like big time, the spell, right? They'll tear you up with witchcraft. So he says, look at this, unbelievable, right? You know what it says over here? That even if they're doing witchcraft in Spain, right?
Mhm.
This is for my friend, right? From Spain. So she's smiling. Okay, so right, they can even get you from there. That far away, they can get you from Spain. The rain in Spain falls mainly on the plane,
Yeah.
as they say, right? That's what it's right. They can even get you that far away.
Because even
So,
if you're sitting, you're
You
exposing
understand what he's
yourself
trying
by
to say?
doing
In
that,
other words,
right?
if you're in Eretz Israel, right, or in that area, in the Middle East, they can
Right.
get you from Europe.
Yeah,
They
yeah,
can-
yeah.
even there from there they can get you.
He's trying to exacerbate the
It's
idea, right?
incredible. It's incredible, right? This whole thing. So this is the reason why you don't want to do it this way.
even if
right?
you're sitting-
Again, right? We don't have this today. We don't have all these
Yeah.
things here. That just doesn't exist. So Rashi explains, "Memashmesh betzror." So he says, how do you do it, right? How do you feel it, right? So as we said, right, with the mothers, they do it with the finger, with the child. You know what I mean? But here he says doing it with a rock. Like
Mhm.
take a little rock, a little pebble,
Right.
and do it like that. Or bikisam, or with a toothpick, right? Go figure how they do that. I don't know what they do. Right? Liftoach kebab. So what does that mean? You're opening it up, right? In other words, you're stimulating it by opening it.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the
So you
idea.
can release yourself
Right,
faster.
exactly. Relieve yourself. That's the idea.
That was the way back in the day.
Yeah, that's what they do with the kids, as I said, right?
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
Okay, very good. You got that. Very good. So,
Shulchan Aruch?
all right, let's go to Shulchan Aruch, right? Gimel.
It's not long time
Good. God bless.
Long Sima. Okay,
More
we got all the time in the world. We're not going anywhere.
about bathroom.
It's good. It's important.
Okay. By the way, we're not too far from tzitzit. We're going to start tzitzit pretty soon, which is a really nice thing to learn. We're gonna do tzitzit, and then after tzitzit, tefillin. So tefillin is a big topic. Oh
Oh,
my
yeah.
God, that's like
A lot.
we gotta learn that big time. It's
Yeah.
a heavy duty topic. Heavy duty. Okay, so that's already getting heavy. Yeah. So what are we doing? Bet, right? Huh? Bet.
Yes.
Then-
Yeah,
then-
okay.
Rob,
Ben and Gimel. Okay,
we
got it.
never hit these other commentaries, right? Or maybe in the future.
No, we don't. You know why? Because
It's all there.
what? I'll tell you something. There's a funny joke, but it's actually reality, right? I've seen this, by the way, in reality.
Mhm.
Okay, like you buy for a new Balchula, right, or a new convert, right? You buy them a sitter,
Mhm.
So they think, right, they have to read the whole thing, So like you tell them, okay, here's your sitter, here's your prayer book. So you come back in the afternoon, you ask them, okay, did you read it? Did you read the prayers? Yeah, it says I read the whole book from end to end. So tells you. You know what I mean? So in other words, it's not shaykh, right, to read the whole sitter. You're always supposed to read the part that you need. So here also, we don't do what we need. What I mean? That's the thing. So, by the way, why is it that the other Mefarshim, we don't need them so much? And you know what the reason is? The reason is because the Bet Yosef is like a clear perush on the whole structure of the halakha, And the rest of it is just icing on the cake, like extra questions, extra
Right.
this, So you can't like go into
Stuck
everything
with your
because
mind,
otherwise you'll never get anywhere. You'll never move anywhere,
Right.
Like you'll be stationary all your life. So that's the reason why we don't do all these perushim. Okay, good. So, right, as we said, it says in the Shulchan Aruch, bet, יהיה צנוע בבית הכיסא ולא יגלה עצמו עד שישב, right? As we said, right? Be צנוע and don't reveal yourself until you sit down. So,
The fact
yeah,
that you should find over the news, most people today,
not necessarily. We have to look in the Achronim. It's probably, I mean, the truth is that, yeah, I mean,
and
I think this is also because of witchcraft, this whole thing. As we said, right, in the Bet Yosef.
Right.
That's how the Bet Yosef explained it. So the Chora, it's not shaykh today, because we don't have this kind of thing today. Who knows? Never know what we have today. I don't know what we have.
Right.
Okay, but I think we don't have it.
I hope not.
I hope not. Okay, so right, it says like this, right? Yet Sanua, as we said right before, that the strength of the Ruach Ra has gone down,
Yeah, you mentioned
So
that.
the strength of all these things has gone down, witchcraft. and
That
all
was the
kinds-
source.
All these things have decreased. That's the way it is. It's not before, like this stuff could kill you. Like one person with a spell on you, he would put you down on the ground. Finish you off right there. I mean, that's the way it was in those days. These things were like life-threatening things. Life and death. That's what it was. So that's what we're talking about here, right? So says the Rama, "Velo yalchu shnei anashim biyachad." Oh, so says the Rama something interesting, right? It brings us from the Or Zarua. that two people shouldn't go in the bathroom together. Gam lo idaber sham ve'isgur adelet biyado, right? Also, don't talk in the bathroom, and also, right, close the door. In other words, don't show people, what you're doing in there. Close the door, like bitzanua, mishum tzeniut. That's what it says, right? Because of tzeniut. So you got several things going on here, right? First of all, he says, don't go two people, at the same time. By the way, today we're not makbid on this. In the public bathroom, we know there's like 10 people in there. You know what I mean? We don't care about that today so much. You know what I mean? By the way, there was a reason for this, why they did it in those times. There was a reason why. I have to recall what the thing is, but today we're not medactic on these kinds of things. But anyway, right? It says don't talk there. So what about the talking, right? So the truth is that the talking, the reason why aren't you supposed to talk in the bathroom? What's the reason for that? In other words, close your phone, right? Don't open your phone over there. What's the reason for that? What do you say? I'm sorry.
I would say because it's not not clean place. That's why.
Ooh, okay. So then what? Okay, then what? But you're not talking Divrei Torah, right? We're not talking about Divrei Torah. So what's the what it is? I'll tell you. From my memory, I can tell you that the reason is because they say it's sakana. When you talk, there can be sakana in the bathroom. In other words, there's kochot of tuma, over there.
Right.
So if they hear you talking, they'll get you with something. I mean, they'll get you. Today also, right? We're not so medactic. You know why? So here's the thing, right? There's a whole discussion, by the way. We're going to get to this whole discussion probably around here somewhere, right? About ruach ra in the bathroom. If there's evil spirit in there. So the truth is, many poskim today, that in our bathrooms, they don't have ruach ra. You know why that is? Because everything goes down. Nothing stays. So there's nothing to put the ruach ra on. So this is the one shita. There's another shita which says no, not really, because it stays there until you flush it. So it doesn't go down automatically. You know what I mean? So therefore they say there is ruach ra. So it's like a machloket, so we come where somewhere in the middle, In other words, probably if there is ruach ra, but it's a lower level, blah blah blah, like something to compromise. That's what we pretty much we hold today. So therefore the rule is right that like for instance, let's say you're on a plane, okay, and you need to wash your hands to eat, whatever, right? To eat bread. Let's say you have bread there. They do serve bread there sometimes,
100%.
right? They do, yeah. So you've got to wash your hands. So what do? So, they say, right, the only sink that they have there is a bathroom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The truth is they also have it in the kitchen there, but sometimes they won't let you in there, like
100% not.
the crew is there,
Yeah.
Sometimes they won't let you in there. So, yeah, I'm sorry.
Sorry. What if let's say I don't know. What if let's say someone was like wearing gloves, whatever.
That's exactly what you asked me, right? The other day, you asked me this question. So it's from what I remember, the poskim say that you can only do the glove method when you have like no water, like there's no water available.
But what
You
if
know what I mean? But if you have water, you cannot do the glove method.
what if you need it? What if you're doing it for other reasons, whatever the
Oh,
reason could be?
What does that mean?
You're wearing the gloves, like I don't know if it's medical or non-medical.
Oh yeah, right. But still, in other words, the thing is that you're only supposed to rely on that heter when there's no other choice.
I'm sorry, I heard that
Yeah.
if there's no water, you have to like rub your hands on a rough surface or something.
That's talking about when you're going to pray, But with eating, it doesn't help you that solution.
No?
No, it helps you with prayers.
I see.
Yeah.
So there's no water, you're not eating bread.
If there's no water, you can put gloves. In other words, the food won't touch your hands. That's what it means.
Oh, is that the main issue?
That's the issue, yeah. Because you have the tuma goes from the hands to the food.
Or do you have a napkin here?
Same thing. As long as it doesn't
There's
touch
some
your
sort of
hands.
hefsek, right?
Right, yeah, hefsek, exactly. Yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
But that only, as we said, right, from my memory, my recollection, it only applies when there's no water available. But on the plane, you do have water. So now, here's the thing, right? So what do you do there? So some of the poskim, they talk about this, what to do on the airplane. So they say, first of all, close the toilet seat, right? So that the ruach ra, the tuma should not be, everywhere.
The bacteria?
It's like, right, it's closed up, close it up, number one, and then wash your hands there, and then come outside and make the bracha, something like that. You know what I mean? You can't make the bracha in there, obviously,
Mhm.
right?
Can I do
Yeah.
that? Can I do that type of diet in the bathroom?
Well, in the morning, you're saying, right?
No, for
So,
eating.
I'm sorry, for the meals, right? For the meals. So the truth is, if you have another choice, you shouldn't do it. Because as we said, right, it's a machloket. So why bring yourself into a
Are you
machloket?
okay with that?
I'm sorry. Yeah, but yeah, of course, yeah, no question about it. Yeah,
Because there's something to rely on.
yeah, of course, yeah. There's
You
no
wake up
question.
in the morning, you go to
Yeah.
the bathroom, you use the bathroom, you close the
Yeah.
seat, you flush or whatever, and then you wash your hands in the bathroom.
Right, better not to do it that way. But if as I
You're
said, if you have
rushing,
no
let's say.
choice, if you have no choice,
Mhm.
But really, a person who's he knows what's going on with what he's doing, you should try to do the let's not your dime in the kitchen. Like that's the best way to do it. God bless you. Okay. But as we said, right, there are solutions. So
You definitely need a kli, right?
for what? For bread or for
bread.
ruach ra?
For bread.
For bread, you need a kli. Yes.
Ruach ra.
Ruach ra, according to the Kabbalah, you need. According to the halacha, you don't need.
I see.
Two different things. Okay, so as we said, right, that you got to be sanu on in the bathroom. So, right, he's telling you don't talk there. So as we said, right, that there's a story by this in the Gemara. The Gemara says that somebody went to the bathroom and he talked, and it came a snake and bit him, right in his, his tuchas, bit him in his tuchas. That's what happened. So they say, be careful, don't talk over there. But today we're not so medactic on that, So they say, by the way, one posek told me something good. What he told me when I was younger? I asked him, he said you can talk in the bathroom, but not when you're actually making,
Oh, I see.
You know what I mean? Like when, but if you
During the moment.
exactly right.
Can't be
Yeah.
talking on the phone.
Yeah. So I don't know. That's also an interesting thing. Whatever.
Yeah.
Some people are, there's different opinions about this.
I heard
Yeah.
that, you shouldn't talk, but if like you're getting a phone call and a lot of money's on the line.
Woo, a lot of money.
It's
In
Ah.
that case, make sure that you're at the same time you're talking about it while you're doing it.
If you pick up the phone, you're gonna lose your deal.
Not gonna lose nothing, bro. You're not gonna lose nothing. Excuse me. I'm in the bathroom. You're gonna call me when I'm with my wife or I'm in the
That's so
bathroom.
funny.
I'm a little busy
That's
right now.
so funny.
Excuse me.
Okay. All right. Okay. Whatever.
Come
Whatever.
on,
There's all kinds of opinions, by the way, But the bottom line is, that today's, let's, as a general rule,
You can
right?
get up and stand outside
Today's
the
bathroom is not what it used to be, because in the old days, they used to have those outhouses, what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. that's
Remember
how it
that from
was.
the whole country?
That's how it was.
Remember that from the old
I
stuff, right?
wasn't there, but that's
That
how
thing
it
was a disaster.
You
Like
remember?
that was a disaster, Laila Tov. Didi Madloba. Wait, es Riyad Darches. Es Riyad Darches. Of course, yeah. Achen.
Hold on, I have a question for you.
Yeah.
Let's say, like you said, protocol, right? You get up, you step outside the bathroom.
You're in the
you take
middle
the call.
of using the bathroom.
Okay, you use it. So you get up and you stand outside if it's so urgent. My
Okay,
question
so
is, you're still
yeah.
dirty down there.
As I said, like whoever talks in the bathroom has what to rely on, So I'm not gonna go too
I
crazy
see.
with
Okay,
this. You know what I
okay,
mean?
okay.
Yeah, they have what to rely on.
Right.
They should always say. God bless you. Whatever.
I'm
You want to do
sorry
it
to
only
ask
for
this.
big money, for $1 million. Like
I've heard
right the halakha. If it's $1 million deal, you're allowed.
Right.
If it's less than $1 million.
I don't know how I
I
was
swear-
getting- No, I have a question for you, and I've heard this question asked from other people. Can you have relations with your wife in the bathroom?
Oh, you shouldn't do that. No, it's not a place where they say even in the bath, even in the bath, you shouldn't do it in the bath.
Right, because it's separate.
It's not a clean place,
I see.
Yeah.
Even if it's closed walls. and
It's not,
everything?
especially if you're having children. I'm not talking about if you're not having children. Okay, I don't care.
Right.
do
right,
what you
right,
want,
right,
Okay.
Okay.
But if you're having children, the soul is going to be affected by what you did.
Absolutely, Absolutely.
So you got to be careful. It's
Yeah.
a different
I
story.
understand.
Yeah.
I mean, you
That's
usually
it.
fight against birth control, so
Oh, birth control.
you're not pro
Ah.
in many cases.
Well, I mean, there's halachot about that.
right,
It's
right.
a different
It's not from
discussion.
you, but
There's halachot about that.
Yeah,
Of course, yeah.
yeah.
Sometimes it's allowed, sometimes not allowed.
yeah,
But what I can tell you, right? One thing for sure, it's not allowed when you just first got married, right? That's for sure.
right.
There's one rabbi here who tells people they can do that. And if I see him, I'm going to hit him over the head with a club. If I see him, this rabbi,
Make sure to throw him in the bathroom first.
I club his head over.
Throw him in the bathroom for a reason. Say the rock guy. You know what I mean?
Okay, I won't mention his name.
I told you.
Okay, you know what it is. Okay,
Yeah,
you know what it
yeah.
is. Okay, watch out. Tell him to watch out because if I see him, oh boy, he's gonna
It's
get.
a problem, yeah? To prohibit this.
That's a good. I will talk about some other time.
Mhm.
Okay, so anyway, right? Okay, beautiful. We're going to Gimel, right? Shulchan Aruch Gimel, right? Okay. So it says like this, right? Oh, so if you want to like fuel up your thing, your tuchas, right, with the rock, or bekisam, or with a twig, right, some kind of twig or something. You want to open yourself up a little bit, right? So what you do it before you sit down, right? Otherwise, because we said witchcraft, right? Watch out for the witches and warlocks. But don't do it afterwards. That's a big sakana, right? Big danger, right? מפני שקשה לכשפים. Why? Because they're gonna get you, right? Those sorcerers are gonna get you. Yeah, God forbid. That's the reason why. Okay, today we're not so medactic on this. Okay, very good. So
What's the time for that?
what time is it? 24 or 34?
24.
Okay, we got 10 minutes. Okay. We got-
I'm saying, who has time
Let's
for
go
that?
on.
Which one warlock has time to get you the best? Bro,
Okay.
listen, if he's talking about it, it's valid. There's points.
Of
there.
course.
He's not just
of
gonna
course.
talk about it.
By the way, you should never be embarrassed to talk about something in the Torah, you know?
Of course
You
not.
shouldn't think it's some kind of
No.
a dirty movie, you know? Oh, I can't talk about that. So why did Hashem make it if you can't talk about it? What are you scared of? What are you,
Yeah,
some
yeah.
kind of a girl? What are you, a little girl?
It's
What's
all
the-
about your mindset.
Don't be scared to talk about something in the Torah. You know what they say, right? Torah and only kabbalah tumah. The Torah doesn't take any tumah. You
That's
know,
right.
so whatever's in the Torah it never becomes tameh. No matter what you say, you know, it's
Right.
all Torah. What are you worried about?
Right.
That's the whole thing. Okay, good. So we're going now to what? The Dalet?
Yes.
Yes.
Tour, right? Tour Dalet, right?
Yes.
Okay, tour Dalet. There was one, you know, some spoiled brat downstairs, you know, like last Shabbat. I was talking about the Brit Milah, you know, like the laws of Brit Milah, you know. And he was telling me, oh, why are you talking about that? You know,
Oh, yeah,
like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
too explicit, you know, like, you know,
Oh,
like, you know, what are you
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about?
no,
Like,
it
you're like
is
a
big-
child, you
that's
know,
why
like,
me a lot.
you know, like,
serious.
just smack you down, you know, like give you a smack down, you know, like, what are you talking about?
It's
What,
big
what,
me
you
a
know?
lot.
flogged him.
Serious topic. Big me a lot.
You
Yeah,
know,
of
I'll tell
course,
you
you know,
something. If more rabbis talked about these things,
Yeah.
people would be better.
of course. You know, Maran, by the way, Maran Rosh Hashanah, the laws of Nidah, he used to talk in public, you know, he was never embarrassed talking the laws of Nidah in public.
This is
He used
how
to
you
teach him in
live.
public.
It's his life.
And he writes in his books, by the way, that you were supposed to teach them in public, these things. I mean, don't be embarrassed. What are you embarrassed about? What? If you don't teach it, they won't know how to do it. They're going to come to sin.
100%.
You know what I mean? So what do you prefer?
Your intent is right.
You know what I mean? That's the idea, you know?
100%.
But here's the thing, you know? So what does he tell me? He says, oh, there's young boys over here, you know? Like, don't teach them these things. I said, excuse me, you know? Like, I wanted to tell him, you know?
You're 5 years old.
You're
looking
you're
at-
such an imbecile. I wanted to tell him, you know, like you're such an imbecile because these kids are old enough to be mohel themselves, you know? You know, they can do milah themselves. They're over 13, you know? So they shouldn't learn the laws of milah, how to do milah. Like, what are you talking about? Like, what's with you? You know, what comes
Rabbi,
into your head?
6-year-old kids can see everything on the phone.
It's unbelievable, you know? It's unbelievable how these people think, you know, how warped their minds are.
100% right.
Okay,
I
so
will- I
anyway,
will
right?
agree with this.
Where are we now on the tour?
Dalet.
How does it start?
Very good. Milfanat.
Oh, I see. Right. So it says, "Vigala milfanav tefachim ulachorav tefach." Right. So now, in those days, by the way, the clothing was different. You know, so you have to understand that. So he tells you, right, with their clothing, the way it was done is like this: that when you go to the bathroom, in front of you, in other words, your front,
Mhm.
you should only open up a tefach, right, which is about this big, right, a fist size, 8 centimeters. In other words, you don't want to be totally naked.
We kind of have that. Like a
You should
zipper.
only open up, right? You should only open up what you need,
Yeah.
like the zipper method, right?
Yeah, I mean,
That's a
what it
perfect
is.
thing,
That's what
right?
it's meant for.
That's a perfect thing. Yes.
We don't do it. but-
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. Okay, so also we have underwear, you know, so we also have that as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're pretty much holding with that, more or less, right? Yeah. Yeah.
That amount.
That's what he's saying. Exactly. That's the whole point, you know,
More witchcraft?
because you're like totally naked. You don't need to be totally naked. You know, it's not necessary.
What would your person need?
Exactly. Only what you need.
What if you're not comfortable? You know, you need to just remove yourself.
Yeah, you know,
There are
I
people like
understand.
that.
You know, like depends on the situation. You know, what I mean, you got to use your noodles. You know,
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why Hashem gave us noodles. You know, got to use those noodles.
Yeah.
You know, what can you do, right? That's the way it is. Yeah, I'm sorry.
So
You're right,
the
you're
Torah, the Torah is saying that when you're using the bathroom, you shouldn't like do it to what you will need, open up to how much you need to be open.
Right,
That's what-
right. In terms of tzniut, we're talking. Right?
Yes,
It's tzniut.
yes,
Yeah. That's what I'm saying.
All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that's it.
You need to pull 2 feet down.
You don't
Right,
expose
exactly,
yourself to
exactly.
the bathroom.
Exactly.
don't be an animal.
Okay. Don't be like Ozzy.
Right.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. Like the
I'm not
bad
gonna
setup.
tell you what he does. Okay. So yeah, don't do that kind of stuff. So. right, ולא יגלה עצמו עד שישב ומשמש בפי טבעת, ואחר כך ישב ויגלה בנבנה טפחיים אחר טפח. So in the back, 1 tefach. In the front, 2 tefach. That's what you get. That's all they give you.
Mhm.
By the way, why they give you more in the front? Because the urine, spills, like it sprays,
of course,
so you
of
need
course.
more space. You know what I mean?
Yes, of course.
It sprays around. That's the whole thing, So Veisha me'achorea. So what about a woman? This is for the men, right?
Right.
Women have a different measure.
Their organ is
Right?
different.
Tefach, in the back tefach, and in the front nothing, right? They don't need it. Why? Because as we said, right, their
Down.
genitals are
Lower.
like below, so they don't
Right.
need anything in the front.
Right.
That's the whole thing.
The thing is that I think
Okay,
also because there's a cushion in the
Oh.
back,
Oh,
because I mean, I'm not trying to be explicit, but like
Yeah.
when you defecate, it goes directly down, the cheeks kind of like support the whole movement.
oh,
You know what I
okay.
mean?
I don't know. I'm not that expert, but
Yeah.
right, I'm not exactly sure what you're saying by that, but anyway,
It's
right,
going in one direction, it's not going all over the place.
right. But it's talking about the urine issue, the urination. You know what I mean,
Okay.
that's what it's talking about.
Okay.
So they don't need an opening for that because it's
Right,
basically
it's
the
already
same
there.
place.
Right.
That's the idea.
Okay.
Okay, whatever, something like that.
Cool.
So, I'm sorry, you were saying something?
That's it, that's cool.
Where do we stop?
Below Klum.
Below Klum.
Yeah,
Below Klum. I got it. Okay, beautiful.
Interesting.
Thank you for that. Okay. All right.
So this is not only for the men, this is also for the women, this Shulchan Aruch.
Of course, yeah. Some things don't apply to women. I sometimes I try to
Yeah.
explain that, because there's ladies who are listening, so I don't want them to get the wrong idea. Sometimes, I forget to say it, but they can ask questions about that. Because the truth is, many things don't apply to women. A lot of these halachot that we learned regarding the prayers and all kinds of things, Okay, so we're going to Bet Yosef, right?
Yes.
Okay, Bet Yosef. So what does it say, Maran? Dalit, right? We're doing Dalit.
Yeah.
So it says, "Begaler benefak tefach." You got that? Where it is? Everybody got it?
Yep.
Okay, so it says, "B'shilhei perek mi shemeto." Right, it's over there in that perek. Brachot Chav Gimel Amud Bet. Right, Tanei Chada. One Braita teaches there. Keshehu nifneh. When he goes to the bathroom, megaler le'achorav tefach. In the back, 2 tefach. V'lefanav tefachim. And in the front, 2 tefach.
Mhm.
That's one opinion, right? But Tanya idach. Then we have another Braita which says le'achorav tefach, in the back tefach, v'lefanav lo klum, in the front nothing, right? That's for the women, right? That's what
Right.
we're gonna say. But the Gemara now understands this like as a contradiction, In other words, 2 Braitot have a machloket.
And they don't talk about specification.
Yeah, exactly. That's it.
And he derives basically that conclusion, right?
Right, exactly. That's how it's going to be answered up. Lo klum. My love, idi beidi beish. Isn't both of them talking about a man? Right, that's the question of the Gemara, right?
Yeah.
V'la kashya. And it's not difficult. Why? No contradiction. Kan legdolim, kan lektanim. One is talking about defecation, and one is talking about urination.
Small and big.
Right? Excuse my language, right?
That's fine.
That one,
That's
so
what I mean, but you don't understand.
yeah, gedolim ktanim, right? Big and small, right?
You have to go small, you have to go big. You don't children.
The big guy. Who's the big guy in the White House? The big guy. The big guy. Okay, that guy. We're talking about that guy.
Number 2.
The big guy.
I see.
And we got the small guy also, right?
I
Somebody
see.
else there.
I see.
That's his son, the small guy. Okay.
The little boy. Oh my God.
He's a small guy. Okay, so "V'tisbera b'ktanim le'acharav tefach lama li." So he says, "What you really think that's the shot?" So,
Uh-huh.
but he says, if that's the case, right? Why does it teach you that in the back, right? You could do tefach. What do you need it for? Ela idi ve'idi b'gdolim. So it must be they're both talking about big.
It doesn't make sense to say like don't have funny, because if a person is going for like the big one, he doesn't need to open at all in the front.
Right, got it. Beautiful. Okay, got it. So, lama li? They're both. There must be they're both talking about gdolim. Lo kashya ha beish ha beisha. One is talking about a man, and one is talking about a woman. That's the answer, right?
For number
So,
2.
Perish Rashi explains, right? Zal me'acharav tefach, in the back tefach. Below yoter, it says no more than that. Mishum tzeniut, because of tzeniut. Okay. Okay, sometimes for us, it's hard to do this in the way we're dressed. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's not really possible.
They used to
sometimes.
have these like robes,
Right, yeah,
like
yeah.
it's like a sheet.
Yeah, it was like,
The
yeah, exactly.
Pakistanis still
Cloaks,
do it.
these
The
cloaks.
Pakistanis still do
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
You just lift it up.
Right. It's a little bit different than the way we do it. Okay, whatever. Do the best you can. What can I tell you, right? So it says, right? Milafanav tefachim, but in the front 2 tefach, as we said, right? Mishum kiluach, as we said, right? Because the spray of the urine, right? It's sprayed around. Milaglaim. It goes far, so therefore you need more room, you need more space there. So then it says, rather it's talking about both gdolim, so because he's got to push out, the defecation,
Right.
he's got to push. Who body dexterity? He also urinates as well because of that.
Pressure.
The
right.
push, right, gives also urination.
Right.
Hilkach
Bladder.
beish milacharav.
Alright,
So
that
therefore,
answered
when
my question.
Yeah.
okay.
that even if you're talking about Gedolim, you still need to open the front because you're gonna push it out.
Right, that's the idea.
Not
yeah.
always, but it happens.
Oh, yeah,
Impression.
now it answers your question, right? Okay, good, I'm glad, I'm happy, Baruch Hashem. I'm happy. So, Hilkach be'ish min acharav tefach. So therefore, when it comes to the man, right, in the back tefach, in the front tefachim, two tefach, be'isha, in the fanea, and then when it comes to the woman, right, in the front, lo klum, I'm sorry, yeah.
Mhm.
Ad kan neshano. Right, she doesn't need anything in the front, right, that's the idea.
I see.
Okay, beautiful. So, ובספר רבנו, וגם בספר אורחות חיים, right? So in the book of the Torah, in the Orchot Chaim, nafal taut. So there's a mistake in these books. We call that taut sofer, right? It was copied over the wrong way.
Okay.
You know what I mean, so it says v'katuv lefanav b'makom le'acharav. It says it switches these two words, right? So it's confusing, right? It's like the
I'm
opposite.
sorry, Rob, how do they know that? They check different text, source text?
Because the context doesn't fit in. You know what I mean? The logic doesn't
You can't
fit.
assume either.
Because we're going to the Gemara, right? So we have that
Ah,
source. You know what I mean?
I see.
So we're comparing, this and that, right? And we're
Right.
saying doesn't fit in, So it has to
Cross-examine
be
it.
some
I see.
problem there.
I see.
That's the idea, So it's telling you, right? כתוב לפניו במקום לאחריו, ולאחריו במקום אחריו. So these two words are switched, in the two. There's, by the way, I'm sure in our tour it's already corrected.
Yeah.
You know, it's talking about the old ones
mentions
that
it.
they had. You know what I mean?
What was the
Yeah.
mistake?
I'm sorry. It says in the back and front. It switches the words the back and front. So it's like it gives you the
typo.
wrong understanding.
The typo.
Yeah, right.
For example, it's saying in the back for the woman open up suit tefachim and in the front suit tefachim.
Oh, God bless. God bless you. Okay, good.
They can use a bathroom, the back nothing.
All right, beautiful. Okay, good. So as we said, right, that the וכן כתב בפסקי הראש, also on the Rosh, he writes like this, וברמזים, also this book. But da, so he says you should know, the Beisha, when it comes to women, כתוב בפסקי הראש, it's written, regarding the women, it's written in the Rosh, מלפניה tefach, in the front, she gets tefach. Oh, so how does she get tefach in the front? As we said, she doesn't need. ומאחוריה ולא כלום. I'm sorry, in the back. And so it's also here, it's switched out. It says in the back nothing, right? It should be the opposite. But Taut Sofer, this is also Taut Sofer. Since women don't have the spray, because it's coming down, downwards,
Because they're
right?
right there with the
Right.
they're close to-
It's coming
close to the
downwards.
man, right?
So there's no spray coming out this way in the front,
Right.
So it says, "Kiluach מן הרגליים, כמו באיש like the man, וגם ממקום הטלת מהרגליים הוא נוטה בא לצד אחור." Also, it's going towards the back, as we said, right? The position isn't towards the back.
Right.
And not צריכה לגלות. So therefore, she doesn't need to reveal anything מלפניה in the front, כלום. ועל כל פנים, but he says, nevertheless, צריכה לגלות מאחוריה הגדולים. But in the back, she does need, right? For גדולים.
Right.
כדי שלא תתענף בגדיה. Why? Because we don't want it to get sullied, with the, with the
Yeah.
excrement.
Right.
ככי דשרינן, just like we allow באיש, with the man. Same thing, right? In the back, they're both the same. There's no difference between a man and a woman. But צריך להגיע מאחוריה תפח מלפניה ולפניה. So also here in the Rosh, you have to change this, right? אחוריה מאחוריה. Front, back, right? You got to change them because they're in the wrong. It's the wrong text.
Yeah.
Corrupted text, right? That's what we say.
Mhm.
ולא כלום. וכן כתוב ברמזים. Also says in רמזים like this. ואורחות חיים. Orchot Chaim, by the way, was a Talmid of the Rosh, so he follows that format of the Rosh.
So the Torah is correct or not based on the
It's reversed, So from the context you can understand that it's reversed. So you got to switch it around, In other words, where it says back, say front. Where it says front, say back.
Only that one
That's
case.
the idea, right? Yeah.
But you said our tool is already cut.
Yeah.
I'm sure, yeah. Whatever the Beit Yosef, what he wrote was 500 years ago, So they already caught that, That's how they already did that job already quite a while
You said a
ago.
lot of editing went into this.
Absolutely, yeah. These are totally edited. They're
Maximum, right?
heavily edited, yeah. Big money went into these books.
It's like mushed down food, right, for babies.
You know why they did this? Because of Maran Avashon. That's his chut. You know why?
He
Because he told everybody, learn to a bit Yosef. So when he told everybody they could start to sell a lot of books, and they went like hotcakes already. These books. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what happened was that because of Maran,
Market.
they wrote these new texts, And who did it? The Ashkenazim, because the Ashkenazim, they're good at, they're strong.
They're good for this.
Yeah, they're good. They know how to do these things. So they're organized. They're very organized people. So they went and they invested the money. They did all this work. But Maran was the one who pushed them to print these books because nobody was learning Bit Yosef. Before Maran came, nobody was touching Bit Yosef. Nobody was learning Bit
How
Yosef.
people living?
Right. I'm saying
How do people live?
Mishnah Brura. That's what they were learning. That's what they were learning. Or Kitzur Shulchan Aruch. The ladies were learning Kitzur, and the men were Mishnah Brura. That's what it was.
This is a greater piece of work.
Of course, this is different thing altogether. It's different animal altogether.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? By
So
the way,
this
Maran
was
used to
just-
tell us.
This was just left on the
Maran
shelf.
used to tell us, yeah, not even on the shelf. Sometimes it wasn't even on the shelf either. But Maran used to tell us, if you learn Bet Yosef, you don't need Mishnah Berurah.
Of course not.
You know?
Everything's here.
But the truth is, it's a little bit of a generalization. Sometimes you do, but in other words, what he's trying to tell you is that to understand the sugya, you don't need the Mishnah Berurah. The Mishnah Berurah just gives you the achronim, later authorities. Brings down, which you're not going to find, obviously, Bet Yosef, because they weren't alive at that time. You know what I mean? So, otherwise it would have been prophecy. It wouldn't have been psak halacha, right?
This predates the Mishnah.
Okay. Of course, by a lot. Right. So let's go to Shulchan Aruch and we're done.
Oh, okay. But I heard that the rabbi said, maybe not the rabbi said, people said that the Chofetz Chaim, God bless his soul, he had only like 60 books to go.
You're talking about the Chazon Ish. Right, yeah. Chofetz Chaim, actually, his library is pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Not like
Not too shabby at all.
Not like the rabbis.
Right. No, not
He had the world in his hands.
not on that level. But
I
the truth
heard
is,
he had like
the
27,000
Chofetz Chaim,
books,
for Ashkenazi European guy, for a Russian, he had a pretty decent library, actually, not too bad.
Really?
He had a lot of Sephardi authorities that,
Right.
even Sephardi don't know about them.
I see.
So he wasn't too shabby at all, Chofetz Chaim. But the Chazon Ish, he had a limited, that's what the rabbi said. The rabbi said he went to the house of the Chazon Ish,
You saw.
his library was very limited.
Rabbi, I have a serious question.
Yeah.
The rabbi himself, right?
Yeah.
He had access to all the Torah works the whole world ever had, right?
Yeah, because he bought all the books, he actually bought them physically, I'm not talking about computer programs like I have, I'm not talking about, he bought the books physically, he bought every book.
He learned all.
He invested like huge money, can you imagine how much money it takes to buy, 40,000 books, like 50,000.
He learned every single one of those books. Yeah?
Absolutely, there's no question about it.
So he knew all the
What the
information.
story is, right? By the way, the Gaonut of the rabbi, what a Gaon he
Was
was.
that great?
They say that he used to go to the store, and he would open up the book when he was young, a young fellow, So he would open up the book over there, and then he would, like plow through it, a little bit, He would go to the cash register. He would tell him, he says, if you want, I'll pay you, because I says, I learned the whole book already. Tell him, if you want, I'll pay you, If you're makpid, I'll pay you. Okay. There's, by the way, a true story that I heard myself, like personally. What happened was I had a friend, in my kollel, who was like a professor, rabbi, like one of these, cool guys, modern. So I used to write biographies about rabbis, right? So he wrote a biography about the Ramban, So this was like for him a big thing, big work that he did. He was very proud of it, So what happened was that he took the book to the rabbi, The rabbi knew him very well. So Maran, so what did he do? He didn't go to Maran directly. He went to his son Moshe, So he tells Moshe, he says, I wrote a book on the Ramban, give it to your father. Let me hear what he has to say, Give me some feedback, So he takes, so next day comes back, to Moshe, So he tells him, he says, did your father see the book? He says, did you get a chance to see it? So he says, yeah. He says, he really liked it. He says, he memorized half the book last night. Tonight he's going to memorize the other half.
Oh my God.
So he told him, I was like, oh, okay. Like, what did I just say? He used to memorize books, the rabbi. He had a memory thing, like, he used to like just go over them and like repeat them over and over until he memorized them.
Was this a gift naturally born or was it developed?
That's the thing, Rabbi Galchaimov from Main Street,
yeah.
So he told us one time, he's a good guy, by the way. He's a good man. God bless him. He's done a lot of good things to the community, this community, especially in Main Street. Anyway, he told us one time.
That was very good, yeah.
The rabbi Salman, someone says like this. He tells, we don't have that, like you do. He screamed out in front of the rabbi. He says, it's not right what you. I learned at least 70. Just memorize something like that. I learned 70 times. Keep it. So that's it. Okay.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Let's see
Like
Shulchan Aruch. So it says, like if he's going to a place, right, going to the bathroom, a place which is it's probably nice here. So it says, "Lo galat smoke ki'im tefach, one tefach in the back, in the front, in the front two tefach, right? Right? In the back one tefach, in the front nothing, right? Okay, we'll stop here. Chazak Baruch, thanks for coming. God bless you, and hopefully we'll see you tomorrow. Thank you all.
Today's class.
Yeah, you can take it, no problem. Or something. Okay. All right.
Thank you, Rabbi.
God bless you. Thanks for coming. Double trouble you got tonight. Double trouble. Yeah, that's
Thank
good.
you.
It's about to die. Oh my God. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, it's dying.
Are they filling up?
God
minyan?
bless you.
Are they getting
Huh?
minyan? Like,
Sorry?
no problem. Call me. He has minyan that you go over
Uh-huh.
there. He's like, please. I was like, I can't.
Oh my
7
God.
people- we make minyan now.
Yeah.
He's like, so I'm thinking like come here because I have to,
Well, it's like in other words, which one is your regular